Hi, good morning, everyone. I expect a few of you know me by now. It's lovely, though, for you to listen to me because it's like getting everything I felt anger about, just getting it off my chest, so to speak, and be able to talk to people, my experiences of being with the Jehovah Witness cult. I'm just going to put this phone down because I'm not very good at all this video stuff. So I'm going to try and sort of put it down so that my hand's not shaking. Anyway, this is one of the experience. Some of it's quite funny, really. And anyway, one day at the Kingdom Hall, the elders were talking about why we shouldn't vote, and I wasn't baptized or anything at this particular point, and this particular time, I should say. Anyway, so they were saying why we shouldn't vote and everything, and in some countries, they would be arrested if they didn't vote. So, if we lived in that country, what would we do? I'm putting my hand up. Oh yes, I know what I would do. And what the elders would do was go to the person who was probably baptized and ask them the answer what they would do before they came to me. I was always the last person. Anyway, then he said to me, "Yes, what would you do?" And I said, "Well, to stop being arrested because you didn't vote." And I never could see the problem with voting because, you know, they were quite happy not to vote, all these Jehovah's Witnesses, but they didn't mind taking the benefits from the country or the city we lived in, like all the benefits financially. But no, you're not to vote. Anyway, I put my hand up and I said, what I would do is go along to the polling station and I put a cross by every candidate. I said, so that would be void, really, because I'm not voting for any particular person. And they wouldn't know I was doing that because I would fold my paper up and put it in the polling box. And all of a sudden, in front of everybody, he goes, "No, no, we wouldn't do that. Would we, everyone?" And everyone sort of stood back. He said, "We must make a stand. And what we would do," he said, "is not vote. And we would get ourselves arrested rather than vote." He said, "And once we're arrested, everybody will know that we are Jehovah's Witnesses and we will make a stand." "Oh," I said, "oh, sorry." I just didn't know what to say. Oh, and then we all went quiet, and I thought, oh gosh, I've made a mistake again. But another story I want to tell you is, if I can tell you quickly, is on my other videos I told you that the reason I got baptized was my daughter, who lives just about 20 steps away across the road from me, who have shunned me for years, said to me that because I know all about the truth, if I didn't get baptized, I would never see my husband Lee again, because he was killed by a mad driver. And I never gave it a thought that no, Lee hated the religion, and I never give anything else a thought. So anyway, but what happened about, I think it must have been several months after Lee was killed, I went back, and I had to work. So I went back into the profession I knew, which was I did massage for deep therapy massage, and I was also a beautician. I mean, that was years ago. Gosh, I'm 70 now, so it was a long time ago. But anyway, on a weekend, and I started doing it from home. I didn't have the confidence to go out to work, so I started doing it from home. And I would only do ladies, my friends or people that know me, and my friends, who weren't in the truth, were good at keeping me going, keeping me thinking, getting me out of myself for Lee's death. They made me, oh, Carol, please give me a massage, or Carol, can you wax my legs, or whatever. And they kept me going. If I didn't do men, I would not have men in the house doing that kind of thing too, obviously. But anyway, one Saturday, my daughter comes across and she says, oh, I'm going to take the children out, because obviously they were younger there. You're talking about 13 years ago. I'm going to take the children out. Do you want to come, Mum? I said, no, I don't think so, love. I must stay here. She said, well, Phil's not coming. She said, so it's just me. So she said, anyway, so off she went. Cut the story short, off she went. About an hour later, knock on the door, and it was my son-in-law. Now, to be quite honest, we have had trouble with him before, with my other daughter. But he's a Jehovah's Witness now, and he's abiding by their rules. So, I said, oh, what's the matter, Phil? And he's at the door, and he said, oh, I've just done something to my back. I've really injured my back. He said, you couldn't give me a massage, could you? I said, no, I'm sorry, Phil. I really, really can't. Now, this was a Saturday. And what I used to do is I used to have my couch and a massage couch, and I'd fold it away on a weekend, because I didn't want to do anything on the weekend that way. So anyway, so he just sort of comes in, and he gets the couch out, my folding couch out from the understairs cupboard. And I said, what are you doing? He said, oh, come on, it won't take long, please. And I went, Phil, I don't. He's, come on, it won't take long. And I said, well, hang on, I'll go and get changed. I thought, oh my gosh. So I came up, and I used to have one of those white coats, that it's a professional coat, black trousers, white coat. And I came up and put that on. When I got downstairs, I went to go round the door to the front room, and there was Phil, led on my couch, absolutely stark naked, and with a, sorry to describe it, you know what on. I know, what the hell are you doing? And he says, come on, nobody will know. I said, what? Get out of my house now. He went, oh, come on, I'll show you how to do things properly, I was in such shock. I didn't know what to say to him. This was in my house. His clothes were on the floor, and all I could think of was, I've got to get out of here. So I picked his clothes up, opened the front door quickly, and threw his clothes up by the path, by the double gate that I had at that time. And I kept the door open, and I stood outside, and I said, get out my house now. And he said, I said, get out. Anyway, I couldn't believe what had happened. And I just couldn't believe. And I was in a state of shock, Anyway, years ago, I used to, when we were, sort of in our early 20s or something, I used to smoke these long Moore cigarettes. They were menthol ones. And I used to have about a packet that used to last me about a month. They were quite small. I couldn't have anything common like the common cigarettes. And they loved these Moores. Oh, it was lovely, thin, long ones, menthol. And I hadn't smoked for years. And I just went to the shop and got myself a packet of these cigarettes. And I lit it up, and I sat on the back step thinking of what happened about an hour ago. Anyway, I couldn't, for weeks, I couldn't think straight. Anyway, a couple of weeks later, my daughter came round, and I was sat on the back doorstep having one of these cigarettes. And I hadn't gone over there for a couple of weeks since this had happened. And I couldn't look at him outside even for what he'd done. Anyway, Karen came over and she said, Mum, it was before I had the side gate up, so now nobody can get through to the back, but I was sat on the doorstep, as I said, and she said, Mum, what's up with you? I've never seen you smoke. What are you doing smoking? And I couldn't tell her, and I said, she said, you know you're not allowed to smoke if you become a Jehovah's Witness. And I didn't answer her. I just looked down and carried on. I couldn't talk to her. And anyway, she went, and all of a sudden, about 10 minutes later, she comes back, and I'm still sat on the step at the back. She said, there's something wrong. I know there's something wrong. What is it? Is it Phil? Because you've not been... There's something funny, Mum. What is it? Please tell me. So with that, what I did was said to her, you better come in. And I told her exactly how it happened, because I knew that he would add something or take away something to what he had done. So anyway, she went across, anyway, to cut the story short. He had said, I had a spare time and I thought I would teach your Mum how to do this special massage. She said, what on your... And you know what? He went, no, she got it wrong. She got it wrong. Anyway, I was called round to see the elders. And for weeks, I couldn't look at Phil. About a month went by and the elders asked me to go round to their house. And I went round and I told them, I said, I can't even look at him. I don't want to come. And they said to me, you have to forgive him. You have to forgive him because that is part of our religion, that you forgive. He has said sorry. I said, not to me. And they said, to become a good Jehovah's Witness, you have to forgive him what he's done. And I couldn't believe what he was saying. Then he came over. My son-in-law came over to me with a bottle of wine, knocking at the door, saying sorry. And I said, I don't want your bottle of wine. I said, please don't ever come in my house again. And so then my daughter came over and she said, Mum, you've got to forgive him. You cannot not speak to him. And I'm thinking about these things that happened. And I thought, and yet they disfellowshipped me for keeping friends that I had since school days, who we were just friendly with, has done more for me. My friends are like brothers and sisters to me, not witnesses, brothers and sisters. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of these brothers and sisters in the truth, as you called them, they are lovely, lovely people. But their eyes are closed and they're only listening to what they are being told. They are not judging what they're being told for themselves. They're not judging it. And they're walking around with their eyes closed. And they don't want to listen to anybody else's story except for we must stay together. What happened to me was terrible, and I can imagine what my husband would say and do if he had been alive. I know what he would have called him and what he would have done. Jehovah, or not a Jehovah's Witness. And I can remember when my husband was killed, and the police had given me a photograph of the car. It was total wreck, total wreck. There was hardly anything left of it, where this Mercedes van had hit him head on, and it was like a concertina. He was severed in half. And when I went over to my daughter's, and there was an elder over there, and I didn't know there was an elder over there, and I'd taken the photograph over to show my daughter the car and what it looked like. And the elder was there, and I said, look. And he said, what, was he drunk? I said, pardon? He said, what, was he drunk? I said, what, you're talking about my husband, was he drunk? He said, yeah, was he drunk? I stood up. I said, he was on his way to work. Why would he be drunk? I said, he was killed by a speeding man in a Mercedes van in 10 to 6 in the morning, overtaking a trash car because he was in a hurry, and Lee was on the other side of the road, just coming out of a bend doing 40. How can you say to me and have a sympathy with me and just say, what, was he drunk? I said, my husband wasn't a Jehovah's Witness, but he had more compassion in his little finger than you've got in your whole body. And I walked out. I still have notes through my door all this time after they shunning me to say, come back to Jehovah. And my granddaughter, who one of them who's married, has put a note through my door and said, when I see Grampy Lee, now my husband hated the religion, so okay, how come they think he's going to be brought back and I won't? Because the letter said, or the note said, what they put through my door is, if you don't come back to the religion, when we see Grampy Lee, we'll tell him goodbye from you because you will never see him again. And I thought to myself, do you know what? I had all this when you made me, pushed me into becoming a baptized witness. I was quite happy knowing about it, but I didn't want it to be my life. But apparently, because I knew about it, I would die and never see Lee again. That's not so, and we know that. I mean, they're lovely, misguided people. And we have to put this out. Please don't get involved with the Jehovah's Witnesses because they will take over your life. Please, stay away from them. My daughter hasn't spoken to me for 13 years, and yet I was told when her husband went to sexually abuse me that I had to forgive him because that's what they do. So tell me, does anybody know why they're shunning me? And I haven't done anything wrong, only kept my friends from my school days. Anyway, I've got a few more things to tell you, but I'm sure this video is going to be long enough for you to watch. I love you all because you're brave. You're so brave, and well done for leaving that terrible cult. We were given free will to live as we want and to love one another, not to tell one another what to do and take our lives over. We have our own lives to live. Do as you be done by. Bye, everyone. Have a good day.